So this is my bedroom, and I'm about to show you the plants that I have in my bedroom and update you on the plants that you have seen in my previous plant collection video. So yeah, let's get started. So let's start in the bedside area. So I have been trying for the longest time to put plants on the left and the right side of this mirror, but I can't really decide whether I want to do that or not because I have a shelf right here that I kind of DIY'd with command strips and an acrylic bookend, so it's kind of clear, you don't really see it. And currently the spider plant is up there right now, but used to be the Serographica is up there. I've been thinking of putting like a proper shelf on it, but then I debate whether I should put a shelf or put like two plants right next to each side of this mirror. So it's always been a debate whether I do that, put a shelf here, because I also have my string of hearts over here, and if I put two plants over here, it might be a little bit too much if I put like plants next to the mirrors as well. But I don't know, I might do that eventually in the future, but right now I think I'm just gonna leave it be because I've already like put too many holes on the walls of my bedroom. So yeah, going back to the string of hearts, it has grown really long, a lot longer than since the last time you saw it, and it's almost about to hit the floor. I usually have this curtains open, but just to be able to properly film, I closed it right now. But yeah, it's come really long, and it started with 7 strings, but because some of this strings split like this one, I now have 9. And if you've seen Crazy Plant Guy's latest video on his string of hearts, he said that when you cut the string of hearts, when you propagate it, it sometimes split into 2. So I think that's what happened with this one, because I did trim it off during its baby stages, and maybe that's why it split. Or also some of them do have like 2 strings already on the very top. So I think that's what happened to the crazy thing about this is they are not growing at the same rate. So some strings are longer than the other, even though they were propagated at the same time. So if you've seen also my other video, like the 5 plants that I would save in case of a zombie apocalypse, the string of hearts is one of them. And right now I'm not going to propagate from this plant. I'm probably just gonna let it grow long, and I'll just wait until next season to see if I want to propagate it or not. But I have a styling idea for this. It's basically once it grows really long, I'm just gonna drape it over like that. So yeah, and the reason I also don't want to make it too compact at the top is because it's so hard to detangle it. And this one, I have made it into my Hoya section, my side table, although my Hoya carrii is right now at that window I'm going to show you earlier, because it's trying to grow out a new leaf, and by putting it in that south facing window, it's getting a little bit more light. So this is my Hoya carnosa. So right now I've trellised it in this plant hanger, and it's working out so far, but eventually I might get it a proper trellis. I used to hang it by the curtain rod, but when I water it, it just gets too heavy, so I just don't want to hang it on the curtain rod anymore. So I just put it on my side table, but I decided that I need to trellis it so that the trails don't get too much damaged. So it has a lot of white leaves, but as you can see, these white leaves don't really last long. Some of them are already starting to brown, and I have like some dying leaves underneath, so I don't know what to do about them. But yeah, so far this plant is working out pretty well, and I really love it. It's really like a statement piece, so that's why I have it on my side table. So the moment you enter, it's like the very first thing you notice, along with my string of hearts, and it really complements well. And over here is my Hindu rope, my Hoya Hindu rope. I am not sure if this is growing or not, but when I got this, it was pretty much a cutting from Lowe's, but it grew roots pretty quickly for me. But then after I put it in soil, it's not that it died. I don't think it died. It just stayed the same. But I haven't really seen any new growth, and if there's any, I haven't really noticed it. So this might over here. This might be a new growth, but I'm not really sure because I haven't really been paying much attention to this plant. I'm just letting it be. I put some eggshells on top because I saw Summer Rain Oaks video on Hoyas and said eggshells would help with sweetening the soil for Hoyas, which it really likes. So I did that, and I did it the same for this one. So moving on to this side. So I think in my last video I had like a big mirror over here, but that one broke because of the diploma that was hanging above that mirror fell down and it crashed on that mirror, and then it all just toppled down, which was a big mess. So I am back to this small mirror, which I had originally before that large mirror. But this one is also just leaning on the wall. It's not hanged up because I'm not sure if I want this mirror permanently or I'm going to get a different one. Or I might actually just move this whole section altogether and move it to another side of the bedroom and put shelves here. So I'm not sure. So it's just leaning on the wall. So here I have my neon pothos, which has been growing. I haven't really noticed it growing until I had to water it yesterday. So this one I don't water as frequently, and this is probably among my pothos gives me the best telltale sign that it needs water, because basically if I look up here and I could see the soil, it needs water because it's starting to wilt. But yeah, it's been growing so much, and like I've said, this wasn't part of my previous plant collection, I believe, because I got it after. This one isn't even part of my, I think, pothos collection video, because this also came after. It was a wish list. I manifested it and I got it. So yeah. And this one is actually, some of the neon pothos are variegated, which was a nice surprise because I thought I just got a basic neon pothos, but I'm so glad that some of them are variegated. But even the non-variegated ones are really pretty. So yeah, and it's also starting to trail, and I can't wait for it to trail all the way down this vanity table, which is like, I want to get a shelving unit because all these trailing plants that I can't hang, I would love it to be on top of a shelving unit. But yeah, so my vanity has been reduced to this amount because the plants have kind of taken over. And this is an air plant that I originally got on clearance with another planter, which I'm going to show you right now very quickly. Over here, these are the magnetized cement planters, which I really like because it's like a girl with a heart and a boy in a heart, and they're up here. So that's why I got it. This one has a Haworthia on top, and this one is actually a succulent that I propagated from a mother plant that has already died off. So originally the air plant was in that one. So yeah, but then I found this picture holder from Kohl's on clearance for $3. So I got this one, and then I just glue gunned the air plant on it. And I haven't printed a photo on top of it that I could put on top of it, so I just now have the little leaf business card on top of it, where I got the inspiration for this anyways, because they sell planters like this, and they also, I think they put air plants in it too, or some other smaller plants. So yeah, and this is my Marble Queen pothos. This is a rescue plant that I got from Safeway for $2, and when I initially had it in soil, and it actually started to experience root rot. But yeah, so this one, after I discovered the root rot, I just decided to put it in water to let it grow roots, and it has grown significant roots. Look at that. And so it's just now staying in water, and I am kind of scared to put it back in soil just cause it might suffer root rot again. So it has grown a lot of leaves since. So I think I'm just gonna keep it in water as long as it stays happy in water, and then I would try to find a way to transition it as smoothly as I can back into soil if I have to. And this is my Fittonia, my only nerve plant, and has grown this has grown significantly as well. And I love this plant because I think I mentioned in my previous video, plant collection video, that this is my most performing plant because it has grown so much, and it also is very low maintenance, and it's very communicative. Among all my plants, it tells me when it needs water, when it needs light, when it needs misting. So it's very easy. There's no guessing game with this plant. And these are my rubber tree. Well, this rubber tree I got from New York. If you haven't seen my New York plant haul, I'll link it down in the description or up in the cards. But yeah, it has also grown significantly ever since I've gotten it, and it's still shooting out some new leaves. And I think right now I'm gonna keep it in this pot, but maybe next growing season I will separate it because there's like 3 plants in this, because my goal for next season is to bring out all these plants outside so that they will grow significantly. And this is my ruby ficus elastica, which is a plant which came from the mother plant that's in my sister's bedroom right now, and it's just put out a new leaf. So yeah, this one I wasn't really very enthused when I first bought it, which is why I bought it for my sister, because she specifically said that she wants pink plants. So I got it for her, but now I've kind of fallen in love with this one, and it's really pretty. So yeah, and now onto this wall. So this wall, it took me forever to figure out how I want it designed, what I want to put in it, and how to really decorate it. It also took me a while to get those ring planters from Home Depot or Lowe's, because for some reason they aren't always available. And yeah, so it took me a while. So I'm really proud of this wall, and this is basically my new background now for making videos. And yeah, so these are the plants that I have on this section. Usually there's a plant over here, but because the sun is not as strong anymore, and it's right next to the doors, whatever plant is in here, it always gets hit. So I try not to put any plants there during the day. I just put either the ficus lyrata or the monstera on that plant stand during the night. But let's start over here with my Mandula pothos, and it has grown significantly as well. It has been starting to trail. Look at it. It's actually tangled up because I've tried to make it go up instead go down so that the leaves would grow big. I might eventually stake this as well, but I don't know yet. But right now it's pretty happy where it is. And some of the leaves have reverberated or went back to being fully green, but I don't mind because I actually like this shape of the Mandula pothos. So even if it's just green, it still looks very pretty. And like I mentioned in my pothos collection video, I prefer my plants to be mostly green than variegated. And just from a aesthetic point, I don't know. I know people love variegated plants a lot, but for me, it takes a specific plant for me to actually like its variegated version. So yeah, but that's just me. And this is my ficus lyrata, which has grown very, very significantly ever since I've gotten it from the clearance bin at Lowe's. Hold on, let me put it down. So yeah, I put the plant stand over here so I could put it next to the window, and I could also film it a little bit better. But yeah, it has grown very significantly. I kind of still want to shape this into a tree rather than a bush. So when it grows a little bit bigger, I would probably snip off the ones at the bottom and just keep the big leaves on the top. So on this side, I have my Monstera deliciosa. This one I've also have pruned heavily in preparation for the color of in preparation for the cooler weather, so that it's not straining itself, supporting the smaller leaves or the leaves that are already damaged, but it's still shooting out new growth. So yeah, but yeah, I have pruned this significantly, and also gave a cutting from this plant in the plant swap. So yeah, so this is like the newest leaf it has. But yeah, and let me move that out of the way so we can better see. So this is my aloe vera that, even though this sign comes from the sale, if you have shopped from the sale, they put this card when you purchase something from them. But this aloe vera is actually from Trader Joe's, and it's been doing pretty well, a lot better than the aloe vera that I have outside. And this one is my string of pearls, another one of my rescue plants, and it has grown very significantly and it's about to hit the table again. And I actually propped this up, which is probably not the safest thing, but I propped it another planter, so just to give it a little bit of height and so that the pearls won't touch the table. But yeah, I probably need to find a way to prop this better. And over here is a mango plant that I propagated from seed. It has grown quite a bit, but not as fast as my other mango plants that are growing outside, which kind of makes sense because it's growing indoors. And this is the Hoya carrii. As you can see, let me put it down so I could focus. So could you see right here, it's starting to shoot out a new leaf. So I thought of putting it in this window, which is a south facing window, to help it grow a little bit. Because if you could look at the stems, it's still growing, so maybe I'm just like trying to overthink it. But the stems below it are thicker, and I kind of want it to stay thick, so I'm just going to put it next to the window so it could get enough light to help it grow thicker stems, as well as, you know, shoot out that new leaf. Now onto the plants that are on this wall. So on the top right here is my cebu blue. This one actually has grown significantly, and I don't think I have posted a video, but I did post a photo on my Instagram of how long this has gotten. It probably grew 5 feet long, but then I pruned it. I cut it off, and the cuttings from here are currently propagating outside. And this one has been doing really well, but I just noticed that the leaves that are growing at the bottom are really small. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe try to move it back to the window, because originally it was in a macrame planting hanger and hanging from the curtain rod before I put it over here. But the leaves that are growing at the bottom are currently small, so while it's still not too cold by the window, I might put it back there for now, and hopefully the new growths will be bigger. But I don't know, I'm not sweating it. I might just cut it off next growing season and propagate those, and then just let it shoot out new leaves while it's growing outside. But yeah. And this one is my Monstera deliciosa. You know what? I'm gonna get up on the chair so we could have a better view of these plants. Okay, much better. So yeah, so this is the cebu blue. Some of the leaves are also yellowing, and actually the leaves on the other side, I discovered there was root rot, and I'm kind of hoping it didn't spread to the other leaves, but I don't think it has, and it kind of stopped after I cut that one off. But some of the leaves on top, like 1, 2, are yellowing, so I don't know if if that is just the natural cycle of that leaf or if there's something wrong with your root system, because like I said, I've been starting to get paranoid with root rot when it comes to my pothos, because I already experienced it twice, first with my marble queen pothos and then with the golden pothos that my sister had for 2 years, and she made it grow so beautifully and it died once it passed on to me. But anyways, this is my Monstera adansonii, which I also got from Chinatown, New York, and has grown new leaves. I think these are all new leaves, the ones that are on top, and this one's as well. But like, as you can see, this one's barely had or have no fenestrations at all. So yeah, and those are the bigger leaves that I have at the back, which I know they're damaged, but I'm keeping it until those stems shoot out new growth. And this one is kind of like also being curly, but then it's been like this for weeks and it's not dying, so I'm not really sure what it wants. And I'm also trying to not overwater this, but as you can see, there are new growths happening from the bottom as well. So yeah, so this is my Monstera adansonii. So at the plant swap that I recently went to, someone had a cutting of the Monstera adansonii, which I hope to get so I could add it onto this, but someone got to it first before me. Okay, and this one is my silver satin pothos, Scindaptus pectus argarius, I think is the Latin name for it. But yeah, so this one has been growing pretty well as well, except for maybe this stem. And this is the longest stem out of the bunch. As you can see, it's shriveling and the leaves are curling. I don't really know what's wrong with it, but if I take that out, everything else looks in pretty great condition except for this stem. So I don't know what's going on with that one, so I might have to check it out after this video, what is up with that stem. So, and this one is my heartleaf philodendron, which is grown significantly well, which has grown a lot as well since I first got it. It's already starting to trail. As you can see how big it has gotten. Yeah, so this how this planters look like. They're very easy to install and it comes with anchors and all the hardware that you need already. And this one is a 4-inch, and this one that has cebu blue is on, and the silver satin pothos is on, is a 6-inch, and they cost about like $4.50. But one of the 6-inch that I got didn't have hardware with it, so I got it for 50% off. So it was just like $2 something. But yeah, so I think this is, so going back to my heartleaf philodendron, so yeah, it has grown significantly, as you can see. And this one is also a very no-fuss plant. It's very easy to take care of. I just, water it when the soil is dried out. And yeah, just go back to the hanging planters that I used to put up this plant. So this one is in the Wally Eco, and this one has worked perfectly for the philodendron Brazil. As you can see, it's thriving. I actually had to prune it and cut it off because it's grown quite a bit long, and I just wanted to like even out the bottom a bit, so I did cut it off. I just have a hard time watering this because I have it too high, I can't really see when I'm watering it. So sometimes instead of putting the water on the back flap where I'm supposed to put the water, it goes onto the soil immediately, which is not supposed to happen because the top has holes in it and the water just like gushes out, which is not what's supposed to happen. So like this part gets wet. So, but yeah, but the thing about this Wally Eco planter is that I don't have to water as much as I do my other pothos, even the other ones that are hanging. I probably water this even during the summer, maybe every 2 weeks, maybe even far longer than that, because also with this philodendron Brazil, it's very hard to tell if it needs water or not, because it's so lush. So I would just like, if I don't remember, if I can't remember when I last time watered it, and I check the soil on top, if it's dry, then I just put water. But yeah, but the Wally Eco planter saves me from watering as much. So I don't mind it putting up this high. But because it also requires a lot of plants to make it look full and pretty, I just decided to go with the wall hangers, with those circular wall hangers, so that I could put up smaller plants up without having to have a lot of plants to put in a Wally Eco. But they're really nice. I mean, I bought this for like $18.50 from Little Leaf, and when it goes on sale, it can go up to $14. And I think online you can get it for between $20 to $24. So down here is my Marble Queen pothos. These are the ones that I shifted into soil. These are the ones that didn't have root rot, and I just put it into soil after I repotted the original plant. And it sprouted plenty of new growths. The original leaves here are just the big ones. This one, that one, and this one. And the rest of it is all new growth. And this is a planter that I made, that I DIY'd. And this is the Peperomia Pixie that I got from my very first plant swap. And it has grown significantly. It actually has been doing good in my care, which is basically successful because I think I largely ignore it. I just water it when, again, I don't remember watering it, and the leaves have started to become soft. So I do the Nick Pileggi's taco test. So I just watered this yesterday. So, but yesterday, before I watered it, this was really, really soft. I could easily bend it, but now see, I can't bend it at all. So this is how I know it has water, and it doesn't need water from me right now. And this is my staghorn fern, which has grown significantly, and it has started to grow this part of the plant. But then because that started growing, it started to push the plant sideways. So maybe I need to reconfigure how am I hanging this plant. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it as is. And I think the last one is this Serographica air plant, which it used to be hanging where the spider plant is, but now I kind of like tied it to this basket and just hang it like that. And I could easily take it off because it's very loosely tied. So if I need to dunk it in water to water it, I can easily do that. But so far I've just been misting it and haven't really dunked it in water for like maybe about 2 weeks now. And so far it's doing well. So I think I'm just gonna do that as the as the weather gets cooler. I'm just gonna keep on misting it daily instead of like dunking it in water for a few minutes. And that is my wall of green. So here are the plants that I currently have in my sister's room. They're just all in this area because this is a south-facing window and it gets the most light, and it's already getting a little bit dark, and her windows are not as big as the ones in my room, and she only has two small ones even though they're south-facing. So I just put them all together on this side so they'll get the best light, except for the Pearls and Jade pothos and the Enjoy pothos, which are above her bed. But yeah, so this is the Ruby Ficus elastica. This is the mother plant of the smaller one that I have in my own bedroom. And a Moonshine Sansevieria and another snake plant. I don't know the name of this one, to be honest. And this one too. I think when I look it up, it says mother-in-law tongue, but I'm not quite sure. And this is the Sansevieria cylindrica. And this is a fiddle-leaf fig, Ficus lyrata, propagation from the mother plant that I have inside my room. And this is a peperomia, and this is a jade succulent that she got in the DC plant swap. So yeah, those are the plants that I have in my sister's room. For plants that I have inside the house but not in my bedroom is the ZZ plant, which I have over here at the bar. And this is a north facing window, and it doesn't really get a lot of light, but since ZZ is a low light plant, this is the only plant I'm comfortable putting in this area. But otherwise, this section of the house is pretty dark, so I don't really put my plants in here. I only put the plants here as you've seen earlier when I'm bringing the outdoor plants indoors for the night. All right. So so plants that I have in the living area that are personally mine is this terrarium. If you haven't seen the video of me making it, I'll link it up here. But yeah, it has grown significantly. The ficus, the creepy ficus has reverted. It's no longer variegated, at least this stem, but it has grown significantly. And there's actually a fiddle leaf fig in there, like this one. It actually grew, which surprised me. This one and this one, and this Pilea pepermodi. So I have another Pilea, the mother plant, which is right over there, and I will come closer later on. But this actually grew from tubers from the mother plant, and this is my best looking Pilea pepermodis. The other babies that I got from the mother plant I already gave out in plant swaps. So yeah, but this is the only Pilea pepermodis that are really in their best shape, and surprisingly they work well in the terrarium. But the ones that I have in pots are not really looking well, which I'm going to show you. So right here is the mother plant. Granted, this was a rescue plant when I got it, but I felt like it just got worse under my care, because you see all the leaves are cupping and curling, and a lot of the leaves are actually like dying like this. I mean, not by a fast rate, so I'm thinking it's just the natural cycle of the plant, but at the same time it's still quite a lot. But yeah, so I don't really know what to do with this, so I'm brought it down here and see if it would get better. It actually seems like it has, because I don't think it's agreeing with the lighting and the overall conditions in my bedroom, and it has been doing pretty well here. I can see some improvements happening ever since I brought it down here. So maybe it likes the light that it gets and the air and everything it gets in this part of the house, because that Pilea, that one in my terrarium, is really doing excellent. Yeah, so this is a cutting from my Tomatophyllum bipinatophytum. So they're not like the best looking leaves because they have burns and marks in them, but I just cut them off since they're like the older leaves anyways. And yeah, I just have it in water as a decor right now. So there are some plants in the powder room, but these aren't mine, although I rehab this one right over here. It was like practically dying, but now it's actually have bounced back. But the only thing of mine here is this spider plant. This is the other spider plant that I got in my recent plant swap. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up here. But yeah, it's the DC plant swap hosted by the Washington Gardener magazine, and I got like several plants from that plant swap. So yeah, so these are all the plants that I have inside the house but are not in my bedroom. Hey baby. So over here are the plants that I take in every night to be indoors because it's getting already cold, and I'm about to put them back out in the balcony. Okay, so I realized I didn't tell you what I was taking out before I actually took them out. So I'm gonna show you real quick what they are. So this is the golden pothos, the Christmas cactus, and the pink syngonium that I got from a plant swap. My Venus flytrap, my pitcher plant, some pothos that I'm trying to save, rabbit's foot fern. I actually haven't identified this plant, but I got a cutting of it when I was in Miami. My maidenhair fern, who is still struggling, and mango plant. And this is a calamansi plant. We have two of them. Calamansi, if you don't know, is like a Philippine type of lime. And this is a cebu blue pothos that I'm propagating, which is actually on sale at Etsy right now. It has started to grow roots. So if you're interested, um, go check out the link down below in the description to my Etsy shop. And this is some kumquat, which is also has a lot of fruits. I'm just waiting for them to ripen. My sage, that is the good friend sage, and my lavender. Over here is my pineapple, which I propagated from a store-bought pineapple. And there's another one here. That's a smaller one. I had a third one, but I gave it away during the plant swap. And my aloe vera, I got this one for $20, but it's not doing so hot because I don't know, it's kind of start to yellow. I don't know if it's being overwatered because I'm not the only person who lives in this house. So it might be a little bit overwatered, or maybe because I repotted it during the fall and I went against my better judgment and repotted during the fall, and it probably didn't like being moved. And the last one that I took out is my Tomatophyllum bifidobifidum. It has been out for a while actually, although throughout the summer I've been bringing it out because I want it to really grow, and it has. But then I think a couple of weeks ago it got trips, and I was so upset. And it got it actually from another plant that is not mine, and so I had to take it out, wash it off. Luckily it got off with just me washing it and wiping it off, so that was good. I didn't have to use any pesticide or neem oil or horticultural oil to get rid of it, which was good because I think I caught it real early. And what I also done with this, because I'm also preparing it to stay indoors once the weather really dropped, is I have pruned it a lot. I actually might have over pruned it. And yeah, so you see there's a lot of cuttings. This one, I think I cut too much of this one, but it's still I'm trying to shoot some growth. But the ones that I cut are like damaged leaves and leaves that are pretty small, and I was able to give out a cutting from this plant during the plant swap. So yeah, I tie it up because it gets too wide. So when I bring it in, it's a little bit more like tree-like, but out here I take out the garden tie so that it could stretch itself. But yeah, this is the Tomatophyllum bifidobifidum, and I'm still trying to find a place for it inside the house once I bring it in. But yeah, so those are the plants that I take out in the morning and bring in every night as I try to acclimate them to being indoors slash not letting them get frosted when the temperature drops during the night. Before I forget, I actually have the Brussels sprouts in front of the house instead of the backyard because this is south facing and it gets more light. So I have the Brussels sprouts here to help it produce Brussels sprouts because I wanted to get a little bit more sun. And right over here I have a mango plant. So like same concept, I brought it up in front of the house just because the front of the house is south facing, and since this mango tree plants are still growing, I wanted to give the most light it can get. So this one is like, I kept this one, oh I don't know if you can see, I kept this one in its own pot because it's the biggest of all the mango propagations that I got. But the smaller ones, I consolidated them in one pot. So Yeah, so I might just separate them again come next growing season, but just to save space, I just consolidated all the smaller mango plants into one plant.